for lunch, sweetheart?" He stopped and tapped back his response. "So sorry, hun. I need to cancel. Looks like a long day. I'll let you know when I'm on the way home." So much for plans for lunch. He tucked the phone back in his pocket and headed into the workroom, where he wiggled the mouse on the laptop. It was thrilling to see all his hard work finally paying off. Because killing wasn't a game. It was very serious business. Chapter 2. Firing Range, Quantico. Supervisory Special Agent Grace Billingsley adjusted the ear protectors, aimed her weapon at the target 15 yards in front of her, and pulled the trigger 3 times. Agent Mark Davis, in the space next to her, let out a low whistle. "That's pretty deadly aim there. I don't think you're going to have any trouble requalifying." Quarterly firearms qualification was required, and Grace was always ready to prove her skills on the range while praying she never had to use them in any other scenario. She eyed the holes in the paper with satisfaction. "Don't worry, Mark. You keep practicing and maybe one day you'll be just as good." He snorted and holstered his weapon. "Better watch out or you won't be able to get that head through the door." She laughed and reloaded her weapon. The light-hearted bantering was good for her soul. Healing. Dealing with what she had to see on a regular basis, she'd come to appreciate the moments when she could laugh. Early this morning, she'd been sitting at her desk located in the CIRG, Critical Incidents Response Group, building just outside of Quantico, scrolling through VICAP, reading the latest information on new crimes. The Violent Criminal Apprehension Program was a database containing the details of certain violent crimes, solved and unsolved, as well as unidentified recovered bodies and missing persons believed to be victims of violent crime. It was created as an attempt to link crimes with similar methods of operating, signatures, etc. She made it a point to keep up with the new entries. Unfortunately, not all departments entered their crimes into the system, but most did. 6 months ago, against some stiff competition, she'd applied for and been offered the position as behavioral analyst, formerly known as a profiler, with the Behavioral Analysis Unit 4, Crimes Against Adults. Finally. She'd set her sights on this job when she'd been a teenager in juvie and had befriended the psychiatrist who'd worked with her and the others who'd been incarcerated there. It had taken hard work, a lot of sleepless nights, and some unappealing assignments, but she'd made it. The range door opened and Jerry Stevens stepped inside.
"Hey, how about an early lunch? I'm starving. The food court good with y'all?"
The academy had a food court with an assortment of choices. Mark grinned and Grace shook her head. Jerry was always starving. At 6'3" and 220 pounds, the man could put away some food. "I'm in," Grace said. "Just gotta clean my weapon and change out my ammo."
"Same here," Mark said. "We'll meet you there. Text me your order so I don't have to wait on you."
He left, and she and Mark did as requested before turning their attention to their weapons. 15 minutes later, they walked into the cafeteria and Grace drew in a deep breath. Fried eggs and crispy bacon were on the menu today. She waved to 2 of the workers she often chatted with, then spotted Jerry at the table, food all ready in front of him and 2 empty seats. She slid into the chair, said a quick blessing, then dug in. 3 bites later, Jerry's phone went off. He answered, listened, then nodded.
"Grace is with us. Ask Frank if she can come along."
Grace raised a brow but continued eating. She'd know the details soon enough. Frank Boggs, her unit chief, would say yes, but they still had to ask. Mark shoved the last of his food in his mouth and waited. Finally, Jerry nodded.
"Great."
He hung up and snagged his tray.
"Got a body."
Mark sighed. "Right." And just like that, her good mood darkened. Jerry's gaze switched to her.
"Looks like we might have a serial, so this is going to land in your lap at some point. Frank okayed you to go."
Grace nodded. "I just need to make a quick stop back at CIRG so I can grab my laptop and vehicle. You can give the details on the way." They hurried toward the exit in Jerry's vehicle.